CGB, welcome. This is,
Yo.
like I did with Simo, this is going to be really interesting because you actually have context of these cards in game and how they played with. We're going to be reviewing the quests, even though you have already played with them before. Do you remember anything about them?
Do I remember? So here's what I remember. What I know is that people are tuning in to hear from the guy who got last place in his old tournament, along with the guy who couldn't help him in any way. So this is going to be content.
So, in other words, you don't remember anything about these quests.
The floor is low. The floor is low. If I get anything, it's probably doing better than we did a few weeks ago.
Unlike Simo, I showed him the quests in the very first patch, the way that they released in this expansion. Since that, they have actually did a patch in this game to buff a couple of the quests because some of them were pretty bad.
Yeah, you don't say.
Your job is to tell me what you think is you're gonna put the quests in order. I think that's the best way of doing it. Or you can just tell me what you think, how good they are individually. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the conversation takes us. Before I show you the quests, to really give you some kind of context of how well this expansion landed in Hearthstone. Here, rate this card for me.
Entomologist Tou is 8 mana for a 7/7 battle cry. Put each minion in your hand into 0/1 jars that cost 1. Break them to release minions. So I'm guessing you have a hand with like 5/10 drops or something. Now you have a hand that has 1 mana 0/1s. You play them. Your 0/1 doesn't have rush, but if you have a way to give it rush or something, or taunt, then or a way to deal 1 damage to your board, I guess, because minions aren't spells. So if you have a spell that deals 1 damage to everything, and then boom, all your stuff is there. You you open the jars and then you get the actual thing that it originally was.
Yep, I think it's good.
So this card kind of reads 8 mana 7/7. Save yourself however much mana is the difference between 1 and the minion and the minion's actual cost. So your 10 mana minions at 1, and you get whatever is the effect of breaking the jar. If they have to attack through it, or it attacks, or you buff it, or you kill it yourself with some other spell. I mean, isn't this just, you play this, you spew a bunch of jars, and then boom, and you have a mega board? Isn't that what this is?
Yeah.
What class is this? Is this Druid?
Demon Hunter.
This Demon. Oh, of course. Fuck Demon Hunter. That's now the team philosophy, right? That's just, dude. We're gonna wear T-shirts to if there's ever another Rarran's Rumble, we're getting matching T-shirts, matching jackets. All right, fuck Demon Hunter. Oh my god. Okay, so they have death. They have a bunch of death rattles and stuff too. And they have big monsters. Yeah. Isn't this stupid? This is stupid.
Stupid good?
This has to be stupid. This is stupid good. This is stupid good. You need a hand with minions in your hands that are good. Is that asking too much? I feel like I always had some big giant crap in my hand I couldn't play. That's my memory of our event. Just staring at big dorks, hoping I get to play them someday, and then I'm not dead when I play them. That might be a biased review of Hearthstone based on how it went, but that's my memory. And the idea of putting my Tortola in a jar and then busting it out sounds kind of legendary. But man, is that too slow? This is an 8 mana card. That's an 8 mana card. I can't tell if you're doing this because this card is broken or this card is a trap. Okay. I can definitely picture a lot of times I would love this card, but that might be because you built me content decks and made me play them.
I did it. Okay. Next time, if there's ever another Rarran's Rumble, we will not be on the same team.
Oh God, dude, 8 mana. No, in this format, it's too fast, man. Aren't you just dead to Murlocs and crap? Dude, there's no way. There's no way. No.
So you're going with
just a big stupid trap. There's a big stupid trap.
Okay, you're going with unplayable.
You're baiting me.
You're going with unplayable.
Garbage.
Yeah, this card's atrociously bad.
Oh my God, I was a second.
A little confused there for a second. It sounded like you were going to say it's really good. This card's unfortunately horrible. This card was basically context of how this expansion landed, for the record. Okay, so that doesn't mean every quest is bad. That just means that you could probably guess that this is a lower power level than most of the other cards you've seen in previous Hearthstone. So going into that, let's see how well you do with the quest. I think the better way of doing this is just rating the quest individually. I had Simo actually like order the quest from worst to best and just see what he got, because here's the thing, CGB, before this buff, one of these quests were 20% win rate, which is maybe the lowest we've ever seen an actual mechanic in Hearthstone.
20%?
20%.
Like so people who put the quest in their deck won 20% of their games.
Yes.
Thanks for your money. Thanks for your money, customer. We appreciate you. How is your experience? Give them a survey. Let them take a survey. Tell us about their experience.
20%. Now, because you don't remember what the quests really were, you might like have.
Tell me it was Warrior. Tell me it was Warrior.
I will not tell you until we're done all of these.
Okay.
I'll tell you at the end which one was 20% before the buffs. Because you don't really remember what they do, I guarantee you might have like some kind of like, I don't know, maybe going against you probably had some kind of idea after looking at the cards, but we're just gonna pretend you've never seen these before, because I feel like that's like where we're gonna go into with this. Anyways, here's your first quest. Tell me what you think about it. I'm sure you'll do great.
Let me tell you my memory of Warrior really quick. There's if you survive 10 turns, there's a 1 in 10 chance you draw a time warp, and then maybe you can win with a busted card like that. That's what I remember.
That's what it was. That's what it was. You're right.
All right, Lie in Wait. It's a quest, so they're all 1. Shuffle cards into your deck 5 times, and the reward is the Master Dusk. And Master Dusk is 3 mana, 8 defense,
8 armor.
What? 8 armor. Battle Cry. Summon 2/3/3 ninjas with stealth. Your ninjas now shuffle back into your deck when they die. And then there's all this other stuff. Way of the Shell is 1 to draw 2 cards that didn't start in your deck.
That's the hero power.
Oh, okay. Because it replaces your hero power when you complete a quest. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the Tortolan Ninja is the thing created by Master Dusk.
Yep. What do you think?
I'm rating if this quest good.
Yeah. Do you think it sees play right now?
Right now, I mean, I like it. I like the idea of trying to win via fatigue because I'm a control mage, so like stall out the game, win by fatigue. But I also think that sounds even crazier than surviving 10 turns with Warrior. So it's probably not very good.
Okay.
What I do remember was something about asteroids. There's some card that shuffled asteroids into your deck, and when you drew them, they dealt damage. And I thought that was like really good with this quest. And I think it was like a practice game we did or something where somebody drew, or maybe it was in the match. I'm blacking out now. Somebody drew like asteroids several turns in a row, and I got really salty.
I don't remember that specifically. But yeah, we did get crushed by this during Rarran's Rumble. Now I am gonna remind you, Rarran's Rumble was, because Simo was kind of leaning on this as well. We had to run 10 cards minimum from the new set, which was, kind of the point of the entire thing. As you could probably imagine, when it came to standard, you might cut a lot of those because there's just better cards available. So
that's not promising.
What you remember from Rarran's Rumble may not be the case through every quest here.
Okay. It's tough because it's the only Hearthstone I played in the last year. And that means I kind of have to discount it in a way I would discount the Magic pre-release, like creator events where we're all just playing stupid crap instead of, and then the set comes out and everybody dies to mono red and says, oh, you're how come your deck bad, CGB? You made me craft bad cards, CGB. It's like, because content, get over it.
Because content, exactly. I get you. I get you.
All right. So in the wild, against the spacecraft deck, I remember. And I remember thinking that's the closest to like a deck that's in the wild.
Yes, the Demon Hunter one, or the Death Knight one. Yes, okay. I get what you're saying.
How the hell would you stay alive and be just shuffling cards into your deck? This seems to be a quest. There would have to be cards that like destroyed a minion on board every time you shuffled something into your deck. There would have to be something busted of that nature. Like say that's a location where it's like shuffle 3 cards into your deck, destroy 3 minions. And that would be insane. So like, unless there's something insane that triggers when you shuffle stuff back in, there's no way you have the time to shuffle stuff in, get rewarded for it over time, and complete this quest.
Yeah, but you're getting a 3 mana hero. 3 mana hero with 8 armor.
Is that good?
That is the cheapest hero that's ever existed. Most heroes give you 5 armor. That also gives you 8.
8 armor. And it makes 2/3/3 ninjas with stealth. Here's this might be a really dumb question. But
Okay.
like another thought I have, and this might be my control magey thing, maybe I don't want to draw a 3/3 ninja with stealth like 4 turns later.
So let me explain something though. When you draw one of the ninjas, you draw a card. Like you draw a card with it. It's not just that card, if that's what you were thinking.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a big deal. Yeah. And it goes right on the field too. Yeah, I do remember this a little bit. That this was annoying to play against. It does feel like though that this would just get you killed. Like there would have to be really good rates on the cards that shuffle things in, and if that existed, then what's the point of the shuffling mechanic even, right? Like I don't see it. I mean, I like draw 2 cards.
Like draw 2 cards.
It's draw 2 cards that didn't start in your deck though, so it can't even be the stuff you built in. So it can't even be stuff that shuffles more. I don't get it, dude. Are we rating these or like I'm trying to remember like what how do I come to a conclusion?
We'll go individually. I won't ask you to rate all of them, and then we'll go through. We'll do it individually.
I would not craft this quest or build this deck.
You are 100% correct. This is right now the worst quest in the game. It's not even close. Now, I'm going to remind you that quests were buffed before this, or in this patch that I'm showing you. This is one of them. Master Dust used to be a 5 mana hero, and it only gave you 5 armor. So going through all that work just to do absolutely nothing is not enough to win a game in Standard. In fact, it's not even enough to really even put up any pressure. Before the buff, the quest was at a 20% win rate.
This is the one. This is the 20% win rate.
After the buff,
oh God,
it's at 30%.
Yes, we did it.
So,
job's done.
This quest was, like you kind of said, the problem with this quest is like, while you're shuffling, you're not really impacting the board. So like by the time you actually get to your quest, the game's pretty much over. But also, even if you do complete your quest and you're going for this long, like attrition based playstyle, you're going to die. Like there's just too many things that kill you that like having these ninjas constantly come back does not matter. Next is the priest one.
Reach equilibrium. A quest is to cast 4 holy spells. The reward is life's breath, and the quest casts 4 shadow spells. The reward is death's touch. Death's touch is a reborn death rattle 4/4 elemental, and it deals 5 damage to a random enemy when it dies. And life's breath is a taunt battle cry. Summon a copy of this, so you get 2 of them. Okay. And then what is this last thing? Cycles Rebirth 8/8.
So if you get both the quests done and you get the individual minions, they join together to make Cycles Rebirth.
They meld. Okay. And they get, is this the same thing?
It's the combined stats and the effect. So you would get 2 8/8s with Reborn that deal 5 damage every single time they die.
Oh my God.
You went against this. Do you not remember it?
I did. I do now. So my primary memory of it is like, where'd that come from? Why is there more of them? How do we kill it? Wait, what happens when we kill it? What can I do? I can't do anything. That was my primary memory of this. I remember us trying to go like jump through hoops to get a little bit of like lifesteal or direct damage. We're like trying to figure out how to run ball hog in our deck. And then this thing comes out and is like, like, what the hell are we doing? How do you even deal with these things? It was a nightmare. I feel like there are definitely, I'm sure there are effects. We needed owls. We need more owls to take all their abilities away is what we needed. So the 4 holy spells didn't like, I imagine there's a good amount to draw from. Is same with 4 shadow. Yeah, it strikes me in Magic is like, if it were black and white, it would be, you know, kind of 4 white spells, 4 black spells. It seems like it would be a interesting Magic card. I can see how it would fit right into like the Magic flavor. Yeah, this seems absolutely devastatingly mean. And yeah, I do remember our game against it was rather exciting. I kept thinking there was no way we could even compete with them. There were ways. It turned out that Tortola is really good.
Tortola is good, yes.
Tortola is really good. Is this a good card? Is this a good quest? Is this quest good in the meta now? It depends. This is different. The rogue one felt like it took forever to get not much. This clearly gives you something pretty incredible. Now is where I'm going to learn just how good a 5 mana 8/8 elemental taunt reborn battle cry summon a copy death rattle deal 5 damage to a random enemy that you get 2 of because you have a cloud serpent is. It seems really good. I'm gonna say this is good, right? It seems like it's got to be a good deck in Hearthstone. It has to be.
This is still under 45% win rate.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah, it's not good enough. Which is incredibly interesting too, because I do agree with you. Like, I think this quest is maybe the most straightforward one out of all of them, because Priest just has a ton of holy and shadow spells in general. So when you build a deck for this, it's like, oh, I'm just adding the quest and I draw it in the opening hand. I gotta remind people, sorry, I keep forgetting to mention this because I'm so used to you guys knowing what this does. The quest starts in your mulligan. So it's like, you don't have to find it. Like it's just there. David, if you can add that to the beginning of the video. I did that with Simo too. I completely forgot.
I promise I remember.
I knew you remembered.
I know that part now because that one time I didn't trade something.
I knew you remembered. I knew you were because you were there for them. But for the people who don't play this game, like that's what it comes down to. Yeah. So it turns out like just having the 5-minute 8/8 is not good enough. So I showed you the Cloud Serpent because the Cloud Serpent fits right into that deck because you want the Cloud Serpent to get in multiple win conditions. But even with multiple win conditions with this card, there is currently a conversation in Hearthstone. The power level is just too high for any of these quests to work. But if they buff them too much, then you'll see the quests too much, and then they'll get really boring. Because the problem with quests is every game basically plays the exact same way because you know how they're going to play the game. So there is a real conversation to be had there. Will these quests see a ton more play after rotation? There is actually a huge potential for that. But currently, not very playable.
It's so much. It seems like so much stats. Do you know how much I would have killed to have one of these in my whatever that Hunter Quest deck was? Like something this powerful? Jesus Christ.
Okay, here's your. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Here you go. Here's the next one.
Dive the Galaka depths.
Yep.
Galaka. Repeatable quest. Summon 5 Murlocs. Reward Murlocs. You summon game +1/+1.
You remember this one?
I think I do. I think I do.
This is the.
Wasn't it +2?
No. It was +1/+1.
No, something was +2. I must be thinking of something else.
This is +1/+1.
Summon 5 Murlocs +1/+1. Okay, yeah, okay. I remember this Voxy and Amy playing this. I remember being instantly enraged because it's probably the easiest quest in the history of the world to do.
I think every single person would agree with you on that one.
I play the type of thing that everybody plays that's aggressive anyway, and they're all bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, I remember this. This was a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. Okay. Okay. Am I supposed to figure out if this was good?
Is this playable
in standard?
Is this playable in standard?
Is this playable in standard? Without seeing the Murlocs, just knowing things about the Murlocs, they are aggressive, statted, like pretty solid little beaters. They're like the goblins of Magic, kinda.
Okay.
I don't need to see it. You know what? I don't need to see any of them. No, this is insane.
I was gonna say to you, if you remember anything about what it was in Rar Rumble, the deck virtually was almost the exact same. Like
I don't need to see it. If that deck isn't competing, the set is worse than I think it is, and we've already set a pretty disgusting table.
Okay, you're going with this quest is good.
Okay, I hate this quest. I hate what it stands for. I hate things that are just like, oh, just play this aggressive type and get paid for it anyway. I hate that. And if I were playing Hearthstone tomorrow and it was like my life depended on playing well, I would probably start with this quest.
Wow, that's crazy.
I probably would.
If that was the circumstances, you would be fine because this quest is doing okay. It's above a 50% win rate. This quest was actually nerfed in the most recent patch. Indirectly.
It was nerfed.
Indirectly.
Okay.
They nerfed some of the Murlocs because some of the Murlocs allowed you to do some pretty gross things. Comparatively to Rar Rumble until this, though, in Rar Rumble, it was summoned 6 Murlocs. For some reason, during the design, they buffed it. When this quest was released, this is the only quest, for the record, the only quest that saw play when this expansion released. Because summoning 5 Murlocs is extremely easy to do, like you said. It's very punishing for people who don't have like a really fast win condition. So it turned out that it was really easy to get this online. This is actually the only quest as well that you don't have to pay to play the reward. It just keeps on going up and up and up. And against lower level like players, this is just an extremely annoying and frustrating card for them to go up against. In higher legend, this card obviously didn't do as well because people understood like they can play for it or beat it with a different strategy. But this was the only quest that was playable in the first patch. Currently, right now, after this patch through Diamond and Legend, it has a 54% win rate.
Okay.
So it is not
that would be
doing
good
that
in
bad.
Magic. That would be good in Magic.
Well, wait, I mean, in my opinion, like anything above a 50% win rate is like fine. Like they're doing well.
Yeah, in high rank, that's a competitive deck.
Exactly.
It's either like tier 1 or 2. So you're telling me we did Rarran's Rumble. Voxy and Amy almost won the whole thing, getting in some cases pretty carried by their Murloc strategy, unquote.
Okay.
And they buffed it?
Yeah, I see. I don't know why they buffed it. Maybe they thought through testing that it was just too slow. It's funny, and this is one of the reasons why I don't know if they'll ever do like a Rarran's Rumble ever again, was because people in the Reddit threads are like, why did they buff it? Like from doing this, like what happened? Obviously, I have no idea. But
my God.
It came out to be an absolute powerhouse. So what is the lesson from this quest? Well, it's really easy to build. If you have a really easy quest to build for it and you just play like an absolute monkey and just drop your Murlocs, it's pretty easy. Turns out also
that's what it's for. It's to bring AI gamers into the fold. They want
AI
players.
gamers.
Yeah. We're welcoming AI gamers into the Hearthstone fold. Anybody can just play Murlocs and win.
If that's what they were going for, they did a phenomenal job. They did it. I also think it's just because you don't have to spend 5 mana on the quest reward. I think that's a huge deal. If you saw the best deck in standard right now, CGV, which I'll just describe it to you, you basically just hope you draw 2 cards in your opening hand. The game's done on turn 6. Like that's what Hearthstone is right now. Do you remember? Do you remember the I showed you for the last expansion? It's the 10 mana pig that says your next card costs your opponent's life up to 10. So basically the strategy is you draw a card that says when you draw a minion, summon or get a 1 mana copy of it. So you play that into the actual pig into another 10 mana card, and that's on turn 6. Your opponent just can't recover from it. That's what the game is currently right now.
Okay.
So
wow.
That's what I should say is that's just the best deck in the game. Now, obviously, there are moments where it's just not going to hit, but like that's yeah. Anyways, here's your next question.
So what you're telling me is that the Cycles Rebirth card doesn't beat that. Got it.
The cycle, yes. 100% the case. It's wild.
You mean if I shuffle some cards in my deck with the Rogue Quest, it doesn't beat that? That's crazy. I remember this one. Food Chain Quest. Play a 1, 3, 5, and 7 attack beast. The reward is Shock, which is a dino. The Jungle Tyrant, a 5 mana 9/9 rush battlecry. Discover any 8, 6, or 4 attack beast. Set their cost to 2. Yeah, this card also destroyed us. I remember this. So I remember getting shocked really hard.
They buffed this card.
They buffed this card.
So
how did they buff this
what
card?
It used to do, what Shock used to do was give you a random 8/6/4 attack beast. Now you get to discover it. So that's why it's good. You remember that? I'm just going to show you the card so you understand what I'm talking about here every time I mention it. I just mentioned that pig. That pig's a beast. And it has 8 attack. Because the rules of Hearthstone generally are, if I'm discovering a card, I can only discover it from my class and neutral. But because Shock says discover any, that rule does not apply here. So you could get this card.
The next card you play costs your opponent's health instead of mana up to 10. Agamagan?
I don't know how to pronounce this card.
Is this a pig? So the idea is now that maybe you run the Food Chain quest because it can give you Shock, that can give you another way to make sure you have this card before you do your big punchy OTK.
So this card's for Warlock. The deck I described before is obviously for Warlock. Shock is Hunter, so you can't go for that OTK turn 6 kind of strategy with this deck. What I'm saying is, with Shock, because this is 8 attack, and there's not a ton of 8 attack beasts in the game, you're pretty likely to get this, which means you can cheat out another ginormous thing from your hand while also getting the tempo for a 2 mana 8/9.
So you're telling me that they didn't get enough of this in the Warlock deck that's already the best deck in the game, that we had to have more of this in the Food Chain quest as well? That's what you're telling me? Wait, you know what would make everybody happier is just more of the thing that's already wrecking them.
Yes.
Okay.
You're so right.
That's great. That's awesome. So you're telling me that the reason this might be playable is because there's another busted card that they haven't nerfed into oblivion yet? That's what you're telling me?
Well, Egg-a-Meggan's interesting because I don't know if you remember when we did the last set, I told you that card's currently unplayable because it was. It was unplayable. There was a new card that they added in this set called Cursed Catacombs, which we did run in the Warlock deck, which is 0 mana. Discover a minion from your deck, and it's temporary this turn. So if the other card says when you draw a minion and you get a 1-cost copy of it, if I have that consistent way of getting it, then this is where this becomes really, really stupid. Because then I get a 1 mana copy that can allow me to cast this one for my opponent's life, and then I get to play another big thing. So it became a really degenerate. But without that combo, I don't think Egg-a-Meggan's gonna see any play. Like it really comes down to that, like really, I don't even know how they're gonna nerf it. I can't wait to see what they end up doing. But yeah, this card's good. This card's good now because of that interaction.
So does that mean food chain good?
What do you think?
Is this all bait? Did you give me this whole best deck in the game with a 10-drop that's a beast?
I mean, maybe it is a bait, maybe it isn't. You went against it.
8-power beast.
You also got a 6 and a 4. You also got a 6 and a 4 attack beast that costs 2. Remember that. And it's a 5 mana 9/9 with rush.
But all you're doing is playing beasts of these attack stats, and then your reward is another big beast. Is that good enough? Is playing a 1? So you need to play the food chain early. You need to play a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 7 attack beast, and all that's what you're doing. You're just playing beasts with stats. Yep. So if that takes you like 4 or 5 turns, assuming that you drew well, are you just already too far behind and dead? I like, what are you like? Have all these beasts at this point just run into somebody who's building a spaceship and already died? Like that. I feel like this is a long, I feel like you gave me a nice long bait because I could get this card that's a part of a combo that's also the best thing, but you did give me the out too of explaining that what made it good. I'm guessing just playing dorks does. Hold on.
I brought up Egg-a-Meggan here because the reason why it's really good in Warlock currently is because you get a 1-cost copy of it. Right, you do get a 2-cost copy of this in this deck. It is still relevant here because you are not paying the 10 mana for it. You're paying 2 mana for it.
See, but you still have to just. Man,
hold on.
I'm also have to play these beasts.
Give me a second. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Currently in standard for 8 attack beasts, there are 6, and you get to see 3 beasts when you discover.
I take those odds compared to how you like to try to just rip a time warp.
I'm not blaming you at all. All right, you're completely right.
I'm looking at this. I see the path. I'm just wondering if like trying to complete this quest gets you killed.
Okay,
that's still my concern. And you know, yeah, that's my concern. Not only do you need to have the right attack beasts, but playing them has to be relevant.
Yep.
And maybe it's all right if you're playing against the Murloc quest and you're just trading off your beasts for their Murlocs that are gradually getting bigger, and then this goes over the top. That could be a fine matchup. Okay. I'm just worried that against the Warlock deck or other decks that are trying to go way crazier, that when you play Shock, it'll just be like, ta-da, and then you die. I don't know. I'm not sold on food chain. I get it. I keep picturing the world where you don't draw the right beasts, or where the beasts aren't impacting the board and you're just getting stomped in the ground because you're playing more 1, 3, and 5 attack beasts than you should be playing in your deck. So I'm still not sold. I'm not sold on this quest. I think you're trying to get me to bite. I think you really are.
Okay, so you're calling this quest bad.
I would not play this quest.
You would not play this quest. Well. We come to a very interesting conclusion here. This quest is below 50% win rate. It is. Hold on, what is it at? Hold on. I'm trying to find it here. It's 47% win rate currently. Here's the problem with Quest Hunter is, well, there's probably better win conditions like I've been alluding to, but it's kind of a weird quest requirement. Because if you don't get the 7 attack or you don't get the 5 attack or whatever, shock just comes too late. And that's the biggest thing. You kind of need to drop shock on like turn 5, turn 6. Otherwise, it doesn't feel like it's worth it because your whole deck is catered towards this one quest. Unlike the maybe the priest one, which may have alternative win conditions, or the other quest we'll see later on, you kind of have to have a huge density of beast to fulfill this quest. And if the quest doesn't win, then you're kind of in this really weird spot. And probably the other big problem with shock is other win conditions happen too soon. So if there was a little bit more of a window around turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, then maybe this gets you there, because you could actually go for a huge power tempo play. But often that's not the case. So what ends up being the case for the food chain is how fast you can complete it. The good thing about this quest is that there will be more expansions that probably feed into this, because Beast is a pretty popular archetype, or not archetype, tribe in Hearthstone. So there's a chance that this gets better just from more beasts added to the game and better beasts. But currently it's at a 47% win rate, which is not horrible. It was much worse previously. It used to be around 30% win rate. But
they need to just do what they did with the Murloc quest and just make it 5 beasts.
I wonder how good it would be if they just said play 1, 3, 5, 7 attack minion, but then that kind of just ruins the flavor of the whole like beast strategy for Hunter. But yeah, that's the case for this quest. Okay, next up, look, it's a quest that we played. Wow,
trash, unplayable.
Hold on,
done.
Hold on.
Fine.
They buffed it.
Okay. They buffed it.
They buffed it.
They watched our matches.
Now,
sweet.
Let's take a moment here before you even read this. For Rarran's Rumble, at least in my humble opinion, and I'm not saying this because we lost and got last place, we had 2 of the worst quests in the game. I'm just putting it out there. Okay, thank you. All right, continue.
Copium.
We had, it's fine. No, that's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. I love how this has turned into a Rarran's Rumble, like post-op. Like, you know, the great crash has happened, and now we're all in the boardroom after the miserable failure, like dissecting what went wrong. It's like, how could this have happened?
What went wrong was what we drafted, but we drafted like 2 of the cool classes, so whatever, it's fine, no big deal.
Yeah. We're the cool kids.
No copium.
Somebody out there thinks we're cool. Okay. Anyway, that's
my mom.
My mom still doesn't know what I do for a living. She probably thinks it's cool.
Actually true though with my mom too. If you said to call your mom, you'll get $1 million if she can name what game you play, she wouldn't be able to tell me. There's no way. I'm not getting that $1 million. So it is what it is.
Okay, so escape to the Underfell. The quest is to play 5 temporary cards, and the reward is the Underfell Rift. And that is a 3 mana reward thing. It's not location.
Spell.
It's a spell. It opens a rift to the Underfell as an Underfell Rift might, and it you throw a card in it to summon 2 random Fell Beasts once per turn, and you get this life stealing. Was it a 5/3?
It was a
5/3 life steal.
It was a 5/3. Yep.
All right, a 4/4 charge elusive. You could also get this 3/5 taunt. This Fellhorn here that has reborn. See, isn't that cool?
Wow.
Isn't that look at the value? Imagine the value. Rarran, did you know that you can throw temporary cards that you weren't going to cast into the rift and turn them into like
it's
value?
almost like we played the quest together.
It's amazing.
Now, I told you this quest was buffed. Let me explain what's buffed about it. It went from playing 6 temporary cards to 5, and the Underfell Rift used to be a 5 mana spell, but now it's 3 mana.
God, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember playing it. Well, so it must have been more expensive. That's what I remember. It's just sitting in my hand.
Listen, we need to go analyze those Quest Warlock games that we played, because we made a couple of horrible decisions. But it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's fine.
So I'm supposed to come up with, is this good now? That's what we're asking here.
Yes.
Is this good now?
Yes.
Is this good now? The only thing that surprises me is that there was a quest with a 20% win rate, and it wasn't this one.
Wow. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. I will get you the win rate of this quest when it...
I will say in our practice games, when I got out the Rift and started throwing things into it, the Fell Beasts were really good. They did stabilize really well, and it did feel like they provided inevitability. But that is, again, against Rarran's Rumble decks, not decks that OTK you.
Yes.
So like it was able to recover from being slightly behind, especially the Lifestealer Rush Beast was able to really catch you up. And then if you caught up for 2 turns, even if you were way behind to start with, if you caught up for a couple turns, from there, it did feel like you could pull ahead. That said, we're talking about completing the quest, having a deck full of temporary cards, completing the quest, and then 2 or 3 turns later, you start to get ahead. I mean, we're already talking like turn 7, 8, 9 that we're starting to get ahead. Everything you're showing about like Hearthstone right now makes it sound like that's stupid. Like that is Rarran land. Full-blown Rarran land. Okay. My memories playing this, of course, are going to taunt it. Like they're going to haunt me no matter what. I'm just gonna say this card is still bad.
Final answer.
Yeah.
This card's actually really good.
What?
Yeah, the buff to it actually mattered a lot. And the fact is that you don't have to spend 5 mana for it is also ginormous. The quest currently after this buff is now at a 51% win rate. So it has gotten a lot better. Now, before this buff, when we played it, it was like a 31% win rate quest, something along those lines. It was atrocious.
Okay.
But after this buff, it's good. The whole difference here is how fast you get the Rift into play. When we were playing it during Rar Rumble, the problem we had was we had to run 10 cards from this new set, which was probably for the worst. But B, it was slower. Like 6 versus 5 is a huge deal. That could be the difference of 1 or 2 turns. People learned that you can play like a lower curve version of this now, and you end up getting the Rift on turn 4, turn 5 very consistently. And even though, you still might lose a couple games from these OTKs if they get them down early enough, that amount of pressure that early on is very relevant. And Quest Warlock ends up being one of the better quests in the game right now. Okay, hold on. Let me get the Demon Hunter quest for you. They did buff this one.
Ooh, oh God.
If that's any indication of how bad it was on release. All right. Here we go.
Oh no. Unleash the Colossus.
Do you remember?
Oh fuck, I do.
Do you remember how bad it was? It used to say 15 times. Now it says 12.
I do. Deal exactly 2 damage to an enemy on your turn 12 times. Reward. Did they change the Colossus? Let's see. 5 mana, 8/8 battle cry for the rest of the game. Whenever you deal exactly 2, deal 2 more. Okay, Colossus. The bug's the same. The bug's the same. I will also mention in this most recent patch, they also buffed probably one of the more important cards. There was like a 5 mana dude, or a 6 mana dude that was a 2/6 that every time it got damaged, it that was the combo.
Thing.
That was the combo.
Yeah,
right
that was
there.
the combo. Didn't pay off for us. Hold on, let me get you the buff version of that card now.
There are practice games that will never be seen where I rolled Rarran with that combo, and I felt like a god for a moment. It was beautiful.
Here's the buff of it now, by the way.
Oh, it's 5. Okay, that's good. It was, I believe it was a 2/8 or a 2/6.
It was a 2. I think it was a 2/8.
It was definitely 6 mana. It was definitely 6 mana.
Yep.
Okay, that's huge. Whenever this takes damage, get a 1 cost stinger. Yeah, that was the big thing with this, was like getting this down and then also doing something else, which meant you almost had to wait till like turn 7, 8 to combo it, or you had to throw it out there on turn 6 and just hope it lived, which it never did, because this is modern Hearthstone and everything is like dead all the time. Okay, so that was the big problem. So is this good now? I'm supposed to figure that out? You turn to the expert? Okay. Fuck Demon Hunter.
True? I love Demon Hunter.
Dude, there were so many games where we didn't even get to 10. Like, and these were games that we were playing as like practice games against other decks that had the restriction for the event. Dude, there's no way this is good now, right? I mean, it is a nice buff on the Wasp. That was important. The number of times I stared at this thing being 6, just being like, it's too far away, was a lot. and it was the thing. Like when you make good things happen with this, it did feel like the quest wasn't a total waste of your life. You could tell I have trauma. I also can't get over the number of times that we could not even get to 10. Didn't even get close to this reward. It was tough. There were so many games where we had the choice of pursuing the quest or doing anything else, and anything else was better.
I would agree.
I can't get, so I'm probably way too biased. I can't get past it. Even with this buff, I'm like, I'm not buying it. I can't get past my experience with this. It was that bad. No. This
You're still going with this horrible.
This is still bad. I bet it's still bad, like 40%. I bet. And if I'm wrong, then the buff to the wasp, I admit the buff to the wasp is a big deal. I admit. And if it made that big of an impact, I guess I'd be like, that's fine, but I can't get past my bias on this one. So no, I'm not in. I'm not in on this. I'm not playing it.
Luckily for you, your bias is still correct. This quest sucks. It's still it's like a 38% win rate. This quest still suffers from basically the same thing that we were going for, which is it takes too long to get this done and you're putting too many resources in this quest. By the time you actually get your reward, it's like, what am I using this reward for? That's what it generally feels like. And it is just never going to get picked up unless there's just a great way of completing it super quickly so that you actually have resources to utilize with the quest. It's funny. Some of the cards that was support for this quest are just being used in a completely different deck that's actually playable. And that deck is 58% win rate, and that is aggro Demon Hunter. So what am I running this quest for? It doesn't make any sense. It is the weirdest fucking quest on the planet. I think before the buff, for the record, it was at like 30%, by the way. Like it was somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. But yeah, it was unplayable. All right, let's do Druid.
Oh, God.
No, you'll be fine.
God.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Surely.
Restore the Wild. Oh, no. Day 9 played this, right?
Day 9 played this, so yeah, with Ruffle, yeah.
Damn it. Okay, yeah. The free matchup. Anyway, fill your board on 3 of your turns, and the reward is the Everbloom, which is a 3-mana weapon, 2 attack, 5 defense. After your hero attacks, give your minions +2/+2. What was the card? There was something that like filled your board and it counted the turn you filled it, and then like we pass it back and it just like procced again, right? It somehow like procced this thing twice, just like that.
We didn't know that interaction. We didn't know that. Apparently that is intended though, because technically their board is full on their turn. So, and
then they got the Everbloom, and then their full board just destroyed us. Yeah, yes. That was great. That was, oh God. How easy is it to fill your board? I remember like individual cards that were just filling it with nothings. Didn't seem that hard.
I will say it's not that hard. Like there's a lot of cards that can do it.
So then the question is, in the wild, like, do they let you untap with a full board? So you do actually have to do it 3 times instead of doing what we did, which is just like, here's a minion, pass.
Yes.
Hey, have you seen our taunt minion? This will end well. Probably not.
You're outright calling it bad.
I don't know if I can do that. There needs to be a curve that's just like turn 4, fill my board, turn 5, fill my board, turn 6, fill my board. It has to not be reliant on your board, like not being interacted with is the thing. If they're interacting with your board, can you still complete your quest? That would take a lot of cards that are just like, here's a bunch of dorks. I know that some exist. I don't know if there's a critical mass. I don't know if that's just like hoping for the nut draw to actually keep the job done. So my instinct is that this is a lot worse in the wild, a lot worse on ladder, a lot probably like.
What if I told you?
The job is simple. Okay, tell me.
What if I told you that this is one of the few quests that didn't get a buff?
It didn't get a buff.
Did not get a buff. Exactly what it was.
They were like, Druid's fine. I would say it is karma for years of Druid just getting to run the freaking game.
That's okay.
That's what I say. I say that they're like, okay, if the meta right now gives us a break from Druid having a busted quest, that's fine. Because I don't think this is busted. I think this is fine. I bet it's right around 50%.
Right around 50%. So you think it's fine. Playable quest, nothing insane though.
Yep.
Final answer.
Yep.
This quest is bad.
Okay.
It's better than Demon Hunter.
Okay. Nice.
It's 44%. But weirdly about this quest, compared to like most of the other ones, actually all the other ones, this is the lowest played one. People probably just don't think this is very interesting. Token Druid ends up being the case for that most of the time. So there could be innovation on like making this quest better, whatever. But The reality of the situation is almost like the same thing as Quest Rogue, where it's like by the time you get your quest and you start actually throwing like some serious win conditions at your opponent, like with the minions and whatever you're buffing, it's like, what do I care? Like, I'm gonna win the game. Also, the thing about Rarran's Rumble is, like I've said before, we have to run 10 cards from the new set, which depending on what we're playing was actually a huge detriment. The warrior deck absolutely clears this. And most of the other decks in the format are so aggressive on board that this does not matter.
So you're saying we lost to day 9 playing a bad quest?
We lost to day 9 and Raffle playing a bad quest. Yes. Now, I gotta make this very clear. Now, listen to me. The warrior deck that we used had to run 10 cards from the new set. I tried. I really tried.
This is great. No, I believe in you. I'm glad we went through this together. I'm glad that we can talk about this and still be friends.
Listen, people will be like, Rarran, you're coping. You're coping. I'm not coping.
Dude,
not coping.
What we are doing is called repurposing content. That's what
True. That's what we do.
We are getting maximum content out of that experience.
Listen, I don't care if people write in the comments you guys lost because you're bad or whatever. They don't understand the full story, okay? And I'm not coping. Like, it is what it is. I don't care. You know, we had fun. That's what mattered, right?
Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, exactly.
You can tell how much fun we had. Oh, speaking of the fun we had, the Forbidden Sequence quest, discover 8 cards, reward the Origin Stone. The Origin Stone is the 08 thing that after you discover a card, displays the other options and you lose 1 durability. What was the freaking weapon? The RNG weapon?
That's the weapon.
This is it right there. Yeah. So this is the thing that just popped off like 10 points of burn in a row to finish the game.
It could, yeah. Depending on what you discovered, yeah.
It could. My experience was 100% it does. It's the only thing it did to us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This card is, for a lot of people who don't play this game, basically what this card ends up doing is a lot of mana cheating. The random, like the targets could be considered random, but depending on what cards you're discovering from, it ends up being a really, really, really efficient card. Obviously, and you get 8 procs of it. So the one issue with this card is that your hand gets full really quickly, which can be a little annoying, but it does have a really high potential depending on what you're discovering. So if you're just very good at discovering, you will win the game.
Yeah. And for a blue mage, having a full hand is kind of our wheelhouse. Oh, man. My experience playing against this was I felt outvalued at every turn, and it was a nightmare. It was so painful to watch them have so many options. And I'm just like, I play my 6-mana wasp. Please don't kill it. Yeah. I have a feeling that this was much better in Rarran's Rumble than it would be out on ladder as well. Because I think that if you're casting a lot of Discover cards while people are being incredibly tuned and aggressive, using all of the available cards in a very busted format as opposed to being restricted to using 10 new cards, I think that would pose a big problem for this card. Similar to the Rogue one, which is you can tell that it incentivizes dirtling. This does as well. I think the payoff is better than the Rogue one.
Okay.
And I think that discovering is a good keyword. Discovering is great. I just don't know. You can't just pack your deck with all things that discover, though, when you're getting attacked from the jump. It's just going to beat you to death. Okay. So I think that this is a lot worse on ladder. How bad is it? You
think it's worse than Druid?
I want this to be good. Is it worse than Druid? That's a good question. It can't be worse than Druid. I hope that Discover Control is not worse than Druid. So yeah, I think this is better than Druid. I don't think it's as good as I thought it was in Rumble when it smashed me. I was wrong when I said that Druid was like around 50%. Is this around 50%? I'll go with a little below 50%, I guess.
Wait, that's actually like crazy how accurate that is. This one is 49% win rate. That is that's the one variant of it. So there's 2 variants of it. One is the spell only version, which has spell only synergy in your deck, like cards that said like if you only have spells in your deck, do this effect. And then there's like the regular quest mage one, which is probably a little bit more fun for the average player, but it's not as competitive. The mage quest basically is exactly what you described. It's a little slow off the jump, and that's probably the biggest concern. But once you get the quest going, it obviously is a lot. The biggest problem with this quest, and I was trying to allude to it as much as I possibly could without giving away, is like, it's not a consistent win condition. And that is probably its biggest downfall, because I don't think the problem is actually completing the quest. It's actually making the quest very useful. Depending on how good you are at discovering, this quest ends up being a lot better. But on average, because you're not going to be the best at discovering every single game, it ends up being like a pretty good quest reward, not a great quest reward. Or I'd say right now it's at a 49.5% win rate.
So you're saying we really got high rolled to get burnt out easily, because it sure seemed like a win condition to me.
So in Rarran's Rumble, like, this is what people don't understand. This isn't coping. Is like, we didn't play the game to kill our opponents. We played the game to have fun with the new quest. That was our job. That's what we got hired for. So the mage quest ends up being a lot better because we're not pressuring them to make really suboptimal decisions and like not great value discovers, because, you know, we weren't trying to kill them. But in standard Hearthstone, like, we don't care about, we're not getting paid to play this game. Well, I am, but like most people aren't. And therefore you're going to try to kill your opponent, make your opponent make suboptimal decisions. So yep. That's what it came down to realistically. But speaking of what we played, wow, it's time for the warrior quest. So exciting. So exciting. Let's
good one.
Let's run it back. How do you feel about the quest warrior?
It was the most fun that I had. Okay. I as a control mage, I like the idea of surviving 10 turns and then getting powerful cards for it.
Nice. Okay.
So, yep, that's kind of cool. Let's see. Did anything get buffed here?
No.
It's
no
still
buffs.
5 mana. Okay, it's exactly the same. Sure.
Yep.
Dude.
What's up?
You only get 2 random of these rewards. You have to survive. Then you get it. Then the next turn, you pay 5 for this thing, and then you get 2 random ones. You didn't like. You were like, dude, there's time warp. We're good. Like, we could have time warp every single time. You're like, we'll get time warp. You didn't tell me some of these absolutely sucked. Like, yeah, you're like, I'm like, do we play Crystal Core? You're like, there's no way we're ever playing Crystal Core.
It's
like,
a concept. It's a content card.
I got Crystal Core and Nether Portal.
Yeah, that's like, a good combo though. Maybe we should have played it. Maybe we would have won. I think every game we play with Warrior in the tournament, we didn't even get to the quest reward, for the record. So
that's not true. In that one game that took like 2 hours, we did.
No, but that was the round robin game. In the tournament, we didn't actually get to a win condition.
I see what you mean. Okay, day 2. Yeah, no, you're so right. We didn't win anything that day. You're right. So is this good now? Is this ladder good? No, nobody survives 10 turns. This card is probably, as much as I love playing this card, I bet that this is like 40%, because it just doesn't seem like surviving 10 turns is real. And it was so crazy because I would look at our hand and we had a lot of cool weapons and options, and we even had ways to cheat out Tortola. We had all this cool stuff. We had Brawl, and then it just seemed like none of it mattered. Everybody had infinite board state, and the second we slipped and we had 8 mana, but the card we needed to play was 9, the second that happened, it was over. It felt like we had nothing. And that was against decks that are, beholden to that rule of playing new cards. I bet on ladder, this is atrocious. I bet it's just terrible.
Final answer.
I can't believe they didn't buff it. Make my 8/8 1 mana or something. Okay,
is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's what I got.
CGB, I hate to say this to you, but this is actually one of the better quests in the game.
Hallelujah.
It's at like a 50% win rate. But before I continue going, this is what I've been saying to you. Remind yourself, we have to run 10 cards of the new set in order for, that was the rule we add for Rarran's Rumble. If you go look what the best deck is for Quest Warrior, I'm going to count to you how many new cards they're playing in their deck. They're running the Quest, that's 1. And they're running Elise, which is I don't know if you remember, she made a location.
I remember.
2. That's it.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I'm just saying, one of the reasons this quest ended up being so poor in Rarran's Rumble is because we were running absolute garbage compared to what you could be running on standard. And that's why this quest is better. The reason why this quest ends up being okay is because the entire package around it supports Warrior enough to actually get to the late game. Now, does that mean you win the game because of this quest? Probably not.
What?
Probably not. This is a weird one because if you don't remember our deck, the way I built in Rar's Rumble was almost the exact same way it's being played on ladder, which is just hoping to cheat out your Tortola. The problem we had was that I couldn't run all the cards that draw Tortola because we had a limit. And because of that reason, our deck isn't as consistent. So is this being ran in a deck with around 50% win rate? It is. But is it only being ran as a insurance policy in case Tortola doesn't win you the game? Maybe. Like,
so, okay. So what I'm hearing is that in this strategy, because it's going long anyway, and probably has nothing important to do on turn 1, the quest is a free roll.
What do you mean by free roll?
Like why not play it? You're already playing. Like, if you don't have anything else to do on turn 1,
sure.
Like the only deck building restriction of it is survive 10 turns. So if your deck has a potential to do that just by playing the game, why not run it?
I'll put it like this. And this is across multiple different deck lists. Actually keeping the quest in your opening hand has a negative impact on your win rate.
Jesus Christ.
So this one's weird.
So you're telling me I can run an Enter the Lost City quest deck that cheats out Tortola, that's good, plus 50% win rate in standard, that is sometimes better if I pitch the quest.
So it's weird, right? Because we're gonna have a conversation like this in another quest coming up, but the quest inherently is an insurance policy. That's what it comes down to, which is great because it fits into that control shell. So if you really need that value, or you need to counter fatigue, or you want to just get really lucky and hit time warp, like all those things could be relevant, right? But in your average game of Hearthstone, brother, it's not lasting until turn 10. Like, it's not. So
you don't say. You
are putting this card in your deck just in case it ends up mattering, right? Just in case it ends up mattering. So technically speaking, the quest is still in a 50% win rate deck, so it is doing fine. But let's just go back a little bit. Did we have the 3 worst quests in the game in terms of what we were playing for Rar's Rumble? I'm gonna let the people decide. I'm just saying we had to run absolute dog shit cards in our Quest Warrior deck, and we got punished for it. I'm just saying, CGV. I'm just saying. Anyways, we'll go to the next quest. I'm not gonna stay here for too long.
It's fine. We're both still dealing with the trauma in our own ways. It's fine.
Dude, I get comments randomly on videos that don't even relate to the Rar's Rumble. And they go, "Aren't you the guy who went 0-4 in his own tournament or some shit?" Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Spirit of the Mountain is play 6 minions of unique types, and your reward is Ashelon. And Ashelon is the Ridge Guardian, is a fire-breathing dinosaur. As Rush and Battle Cry, and it adapts twice. And for the rest of the game, give minions, you play those adaptations. So like you grab 2 keywords and all your future minions get those keywords. Does this also get those keywords?
Yes, I showed you the adapts below, but it's Divine Shield, +3 attack, Wind Fury, Elusive, which is like can't be targeted by heroes, powers, or spells, taunt, and then the Death Rattle, summon 1/1 plants. Those are the ones you can get. And +1/+1, and +3 health. I don't know why that's there. That's not there. What the fuck is this image? They told me this is all of them. Am I missing any other ones? There's also poisonous. What the fuck?
They didn't give you all the info.
All right.
Look at
anyways,
that. Sabotaging your video.
Pretty much what you just said. You can't get. So I want to make this very clear though. You can't get lifesteal. You can't get rush, and you can't get charge. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a lot worse. And I don't even know if it had to be worse. Like, this feels really similar to the Beast one. Okay. Maybe it's easier to do. Than the Hunter quest. 6 minions of unique types. You can build them with all various costs in mind. You can play the best ones at each cost. And there's probably an easier way to do that than play specifically a 1, a 3, a 5, and a 7.
Is the reward as good?
It has the same problem. Is the reward as good as it's another 5-mana dinosaur. This one's an 8/8. It's another one that has rush. It doesn't get the best keywords, which is kind of mean that they don't let you have those keywords. Feels like they could buff it and give out those keywords.
So the reason is because Adapt came out in the first Ungorio expansion, and lifesteal wasn't added to the expansion after, and rush wasn't added for a year after. And obviously charge would be kind of disgusting, so that's why they didn't add it.
Yeah. I mean, we're saying play, so you have to start with this, and then you play 6 minions of unique types, and then you get this minion, and then you have to play this minion, and then minions that you play for the rest of the game get those things. So you have to play 6 minions, play this minion, then play more minions to get paid off for the minions you played. I mean, if there's this feels like it would be good in like a different Hearthstone where you just fought over the board the whole time, but it just like the standard you're talking to me about just doesn't sound like the standard. This seems like it has the same problem. I can't give this like oh yeah, I would play this quest in a world where the beast quest isn't good, and so I'm gonna take the same approach with the Spirit of the Mountain. I'm not sold on this. I don't think this is good.
You're entirely right.
Okay.
Say the problem with this quest is kind of the same issue as Demon Hunter has, which is you went through all this effort to play all these minions, and like then you kind of run low on minions. So unless there's a card called Shutter Block, which says Battlecry, your next Battlecry minion triggers 3 times. So if you get that with Ashelon, that's like the nuts, and like that actually carries you quite a bit because that's so much value per minion. But if you don't hit the Shutter Block combo, it is so bad. It is so bad. And Cooper put out a video recently talking about how like the state of standard for him and how he feels about it. One of the things he said was he was comparing this one to the Murloc quest. Look how easy it is to do the Murloc quest. This one is you got to go through a journey to get 6 unique minion types, and then the reward doesn't even feel as good as the Murloc one because you also have to play it. It doesn't even work with your summons. So it just feels so much worse for literally like nothing. And if you only get 2 adapts for the rest of the game, like you said, this is 2025 Hearthstone. Like if it had rush, if it had lifesteal, then we might be talking here because both of those would be extremely relevant to fight for the game. But most of these suck. And the best part about this reward arguably might just be the 5-mana 8/8 with rush with 2 adapts. And that just sounds horrible to say out loud. So you're right. This quest kind of sucks. This quest is currently at a 42% win rate. I think a lot of people like this quest, and I would be one of those people, but unfortunately, yes, it is too slow. We're going on to the last quest here. All right.
Okay.
And this is for Death Knight.
Reanimate the Terror. Spend 15 corpses to get Tyrax Bone Terror. Just another dinosaur?
He's I don't know what this is, to be honest.
Looks like some kind of a chicken.
He's kind of like a
big demon chicken.
Pig demon. I don't even know what the fuck he is, to be honest.
I don't know. If that other thing's a pig, this can be whatever I say it is. 5 mana for an 8/8 undead beast with Death Rattle. Open Terror's Grave. It has Death Rattle resummon this. Terror's Grave is... that looks like a dinosaur. Deal 4 damage. No wonder they're extinct. Death Rattle, resummon the Bone Terror.
Resummon the Bone Terror.
Okay, this comes out, this dies, opens the location. You spend the location to get this back. So you have 2 uses of that. I mean, there was a world where it seemed cool, and the flavor seems cool, and the grave is cool. Bringing back the dead bone terror thingy is cool. It's nice. Like who gives it? We're cheating out Tortola, or we're making some spaceship, or we're OTKing people. I've got an 8/8. Wow. I deal 4 damage. Wow. There's no way, right? Is this the worst thing you've shown me? Apparently Rogue was worse. Is this the worst thing?
So this one's a really interesting one. I have to define this quest, and I'm going to use literally this word to describe it, is unplayable. That's the way I'm going to describe this. This quest is the only quest in the game I feel like that does not want to get played because A, this is my opinion, I think this is the most uninteresting one out of all of them. B, Death Knight does not need a card like this. It's kind of like the warrior quest, but instead you're getting like a shitty minion instead of some cool rewards. 3, Death Knight doesn't even want to put this in its deck because I'd rather spend corpses on other stuff. Well, I guess you get it for spending corpses anyways for doing this, but you don't want to spend 5 mana for this card. So like this quest is just not played in Death Knight. This card was also recently buffed. It used to say 18 corpses, and it would require you to run 2 blood, I think, and 1 unholy for its rune. So like it even require a very specific deck, but no one played it. And their thought process was to reduce the amount of corpses and the amount of, and make it easier to put in multiple different decks. But again, like what am I ruining a draw for in my mulligan, and why am I playing this on turn 1 when I could do something way better? The Starship deck, which was like probably the best deck from Rarran's Rumble by far, wasn't even close, was really close to what it ended up being in the actual standard when the expansion came out, but didn't run the quest. There's no need for it. Like, he didn't run the quest. So
that's
like
funny.
This quest is yeah, it's pretty much unplayable. It's unplayable.
Oh my God. So
feel
we
like,
don't even know the win rate because everybody was like, nah, dude, nah.
I feel like this quest would have been better if they just gave Tyrax Rush or Taunt. Like, it didn't need Rush. Like, Taunt would have been suffice to make it a little bit more powerful. But like, God, it just feels so bad to play. And I don't know if you remember from Rarran's Rumble, like the one time we actually saw it got cast, it got hexed immediately. So like, you just went through all of that for literally nothing. Like, it's it just feels so bad to play. So yeah, no one plays this quest. That is Journey to the, what is this, Lost City? Journey to Lost City, I think it's what it's called. This at the moment, I think you could argue is the least impactful standard set of all time. Other than Rosticon's Rumble, which is like a different story. But this has been a really, really low powered set, and I really do not know what they do to figure this out. Like, some of the buffs were great. Like, don't get me wrong, the Warlock quest went from unplayable to playable, but like, it needed a significant change there for it to be playable. But the first patch, CGB, that was that's a rough one. That is a rough one, to say the least. But yeah, I would ask you how you feel about the cards, but you already played with them, so that's awesome. So we could end the recording and cope on why we got the worst classes in Rarran Rumble.
Hey, thank you, Blizzard, for having me in for the content for your very amazing new expansion. I'm glad to hear everybody's loving it.